A little while back, I did a presentation at iTech about doing more Google Sheets. And so this is going to be first in part of a series of videos all going about the different equations you use Google Sheets to better be able to deal with the data that you have. Now, first I'm going to talk about how do you deal with data that's coming in from a form, because let's say this is the sheet that my form is feeding into. So all Google Forms feed into a spreadsheet. Now what it does though is every time that a new submission is made to the form, it creates a new line. So you see how my most recent data would be down here. The next time that form is filled out, it'll actually create a brand new row after row 21 here to put in the data. So when we're using equations, we can't automatically throw equations in, let's say on the right side of all my data, and expect that to work, because it's going to create a brand new row where the equations weren't. So I mean, if I was running an equation here, you can see I actually have a concatenate equation running through this column here, and let's say I tried to pre-fill it here to work with the data when it comes in, it will not work. So when there's a new submission, it creates a brand new row. So if you try to pre-fill out equations into that row, it will not work. So if you want to work with the data in a Google Form spreadsheet, the first thing you need to do is we'll just add a row above this. So if I add a row above all my data, all the new data comes below it. So the reason I would add this is if I want to do any calculations at the top, like say sums, averages, or whatever. But another reason why is if I want to set this up for an awesome table. So if I do, I can automatically put that row there and all the data will go down. The only other place that you really mess with is outside of where your data is filling in. So let's say this column here is the last information coming from my Google form. Well, I can put in equations here. Now, if I really want an equation to keep working as new submissions come in, the two main ways of doing that, if I go into add-ons, if I get add-ons right here, and there's one called copy down, and see it's right here. So this is a nice add-on. I can install this and run it, and it'll automatically copy down the equations as new data comes in. Now, the other thing I can do with this is I can use an array formula. And I have more information about array formula later, but an array formula will work even as new data comes in. So those are your two ways of dealing with data coming from Google Form. Either use the copy down add-on or use an array formula. Those are going to be your two best ways to go about that. Otherwise, that's all you need to know about using data from Google Form. I always find it's actually easier to just kind of pull this data onto another spreadsheet using either a query function or import range.